Hi, welcome. Thank you all for joining us this evening. It's always great to see happy faces in our crowd, so thank you so much. We will proceed with our agenda. Council will stand for a Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll have an invocation. So if you have a device that might ring, buzz, chirp, play me a song, please turn it down so that we can give you our full attention and we can get yours. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we give thanks for each and every day that you give to us. Thank you that you kept the heavy rains away from our small community, but we do pray for those that are continued to be affected by those. Thank you for keeping us peaceful in the midst of strife, and thank you for giving us the best place on earth to live. In his name we pray. Amen. Amen. Council members, you have received the minutes from our July 1st, 2024 Council Budget Workshop and our July 8th, 2024 Council meeting. Do you have any changes, additions, or deletions?
I make a motion to accept the minutes as submitted.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Thank you. Public comment. Pursuant to Section 2-46 of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of Fort Mill, any citizen of the town may appear before council for the purpose of providing public comments on any municipal matter except personnel matters. Those who wish to speak, excuse me? Sorry, I thought someone was attempting to make a comment ahead of time. On any matter except municipal matters and except personnel matters. Those who wish to speak must sign in the outside of council chambers prior to the start of the meeting. Citizens will be given 3 minutes each. My understanding is that many of you are here for the same reason and that you have one person that's going to speak. Is that correct? Okay, good. Good, because I was trying to calculate timing here. So thank you very much for giving that consideration. Do we have people signed in for public comment, Chris?
Yes, Mayor. We have one person. I apologize. I can't read the name for who signed in.
Okay.
So whoever might have signed in.
Welcome. Hi, Mr. Henson. Would you like to approach?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
As I said, I'm Marshall Henson. I live at 125 Forest Street. I shall be very brief, hopefully very respectful, and speak very gently.
Thank you.
Thank you for
An
allowing
anomaly
our
already.
group to. Pardon me? Thank you for allowing our group to come and speak before the council. We appreciate what you do for our community. We're here to make just a few comments regarding 119 Forest Street. I'm sure most of you know of the situation there. For about 10 years now, that situation has deteriorated, and once again, I'm sure you have noticed that. The grounds are only mowed when the city gets a complaint from a neighbor, and the owners have 45 days to mow. When you add the length of time that it takes to make the complaint, it goes more than 45 days. It is unsightly. It is unsanitary. Besides the weeds that are allowed to grow, it has vermin, rats, mice, possums, raccoons, copperheads, and mosquitoes breed in the stagnant water, deeming it a nuisance and health problem. There can be no argument that it is a fire hazard, since we really live in the woods with so much trees around the neighborhood, which we love and appreciate. This property should be condemned. It is unoccupied, and it surely appears that it can never be a structure that could be repaired for occupancy. The structure should be torn down as soon as possible, and I think most of the neighbors would say yesterday. Children live across the street and behind this house. In addition to other factors, at least 6 other violations that I'm sure you're aware of, we urge that these children's safety be utmost in any decision made concerning this property. We're here to ask for your help, respectfully. If you can help us to alleviate the problem, make our city a more beautiful place in which to live. It's beautiful in so many places. We want our street to also be beautiful. Thank you so much for your time and your consideration.
Mr. Henson, Mr. Henson, Mr. Henson, I would like to thank you because you're very eloquent, you were prepared, you were kind and respectful. We work hard to respond to each and every person that comes before us with anything, but it is especially a delight to serve people that are as respectful and kind as you are.
Well,
So I would like to thank you.
you are so very welcome.
I would like to thank you, and I would like for you to know that we, for some time, we're just as unhappy with the situation, probably not as much as you living on the same street, but, you know, we did take action previous to force some cleanup, and hopefully there are good things that will occur. I don't like how slow the governmental clock works at all. I don't think anybody on my council does. We're the most impatient set of people you've ever run across. So we do challenge a lot of the requirements that we're faced with, but oftentimes we must do what we're required to do, not what we would like to do. So I would like for you to know that every person on this council is aware, and really that's distasteful. So at a minimum. So thank you again for bringing this to our council, and to all of you for allowing such a kind gentleman to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, and do what you can. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'll bring the motion. All right. All right. We will now move in. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. We will now move into presentation number 1, which is a presentation by Stormwater Interns, what we learned this summer. I love the title. Stormwater Community Engagement Presentation by Mina McDonald. I love Mina. So we're looking forward to this information and appreciate all of you. Okay.
We got to participate in the Stormwater Internship, and I'm Sarah McCaskill.
I'm Maryfield Spratt.
I'm Allegra DeMagno.
I'm Andy Truitt.
And I'm Rachel Larson.
So we got to spend this past summer interning with Mina McDonald at the Fort Mill Stormwater Department. And the first thing I'm going to show you is our creek cleanups. The first one we did was at a section of Dye Branch, which is at the Harris Street Park, and we did find a lot of glass. That picture on the right is me getting my boot stuck, unfortunately, but we did have a lot of fun getting to clean up. It was an amazing experience to really immerse ourselves in helping our community, and it was just something that we really appreciated doing because it gave us the opportunity to really give back and learn more about what we can do to help, and that we'll pass on to the
Throughout the internship, we had a lot of cool experiences to get to know more things about our town, and one of my favorites was learning about the South Carolina Adopt a Stream program. We met with Mr. Larry, who is an infamous volunteer around town, and we collected water samples for Adopt a Stream near the swinging bridge on the Greenway. We tested for turbidity, pH, and dissolved oxygen, amongst other things. It was really a unique experience because we got to learn these things taking classes in high school, and this was us getting out in the field and really, putting our knowledge to use. That same day, we traveled along the creek a little bit to the litter getter, and we cleaned out lots of styrofoam, plastic bottles, and just litter that gets in our creeks and waterways. And then a few days later, we went to Dye Branch again, and we helped clean out the water goat. And yeah, I think that was donated to us by Palmetto Pride as a source to, again, help clean the waterways, because we might not see it every day, but there's a lot of trash, and it's important for us as young individuals and citizens in the community to learn early what we can do to help. Thank you.
So over the summer we held 3 Stories in Shaved Ice events, and we served 180 kids, and 250 of those turtles were adopted at our events. Here's us at the Rock Hill Water Filtration and Wastewater Plant. Yeah, they gave us a great tour, and I know we all had a great experience there. And then here we were at the Rock Hill Stormwater and Operations Center, and we also got a great tour there.
Okay, so this is our learning trail, Seek and Find. This is the project that we've been working on the entire summer, where we are basically going around and interviewing different members of the community who are knowledgeable about different aspects of the environment along that trail, and also in general different ways that human impacts impact stormwater. So the main aim of our trail is to inform the community more about what stormwater is, what kinds of preventatives will keep our water clean, individual actions, and then we're also making it more engaging by adding in the Seek and Find with the animals so that younger kids can go around, find the different animals that live in that area. And then there are QR codes that will link to the video interviews that teach you more about what stormwater is and different things like creek erosion, how to prevent it, the benefits of trees and what kind of secondary services they provide, and so on. We also took a trip to the Fort Mill wastewater treatment plant. Although it's a very small plant compared to Rock Hill's site, they do a really great job. And we got to learn about their filtration device that they use, how it kind of flosses out those contaminants in the water. And we also got to see the point where they actually let that water out. And it's coming out a lot cleaner than the river water is right now, so that's great. And then last thing I'm going to talk about is the Nation Ford chemical plant tour. We got a really great tour from Glenn and Brooke down at the Nation Ford chemical plant. We got to learn a lot about their sustainability initiatives, seeing that they are one of a really good sustainable chemical company, and how they think about the long-term life cycle of their products, where they're ending up, how they dispose of different hazardous materials. And so that was a great experience getting to talk with them.
On one of the days, we made a field trip to Fort Mill Fire Station number 2, which was a lot of fun. We were able to see the various equipments and what they go through and do in a day. Then we visited the York County Landfill and Recycling Center, in which we got a tour. We were able to drive through the landfill, see how the trash is sorted, and some of it is moved to a different landfill with a different classification. And then we visited the recycling center, where we were taught what is and isn't recyclable and some common misconceptions, how it's recycled, how it's sorted using both humans and machines, and where it ends up after that. And lastly, we did our last Stories in Shaved Ice event, which was also a combination with the Volun Thursday. So we did a creek cleanup, again in Dye Branch, and then we had an installation of an environmental sculpture. We said a river otter, and you can put trash in it and it kind of fills up. And then we had 2 members from the Greenway come, and they brought a box turtle and a corn snake, and then also the South Carolina Marionette Theater presented Litter Trash is Everybody.
I'm gonna finish it up here for a second.
Yeah, I didn't mean to
wanna
giggle,
say-
but I
yeah.
read you lost your phone in the stream, so.
I'll tell you that story.
You get it next time you clean up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I know. But I just want to say it has been my privilege to work with these young people this summer. They have just been an absolute joy. We've had some really great times. They've asked some very exciting and good questions. Every time we've met with someone, I've gotten feedback from the folks that we visited about how impressed they were. So just want to do a little shout out to the Fort Mill School District. Y'all doing a good job over at our high schools. And I would like to go ahead and tell some of our soon-to-be college freshmen, congratulations and good luck. And then our seniors in high school, enjoy your last year in high school. Thank you so much for everything y'all did. Great. Any questions or anything?
I think the first thing we need to do is give them a standing ovation. So, yes, ma'am?
May I just say thank you to Mina? I played a tiny part in introducing these amazing students to her, but if it were not for her, none of this would have happened.
We're very, very proud of Mina and very pleased that she works with our staff. Thank you, Mina. The young folks, you make my heart get this big to know that you spend your time doing things that are important to us all. We can live without electricity. We can live without food for a period of time, but no human can live without water. So it is an important, if not the single most important resource to all of us and for all of us. To see that you even have an interest in the preservation of our area is just an amazing gift. You're all gifts to us. So thank you so very much for what you're doing and what you're becoming, because I think you made me feel better about our future. So thank you. Council?
So stormwater, it's one of those departments where it doesn't get a lot of attention, but it's like, football season's coming. So it's like the offensive line. You don't think about it until it doesn't work, So, Mina, everything that you do and everything that the entire department does, thank y'all for everything and the passion that, especially that you specifically have in it. And it's definitely appreciated. So, did you name the otter?
We're gonna probably do a contest. So
Alrighty
we're gonna
then.
use that for Stormwater Awareness Week in September. We'll put out a call for names, and then we'll select the best one.
So we were coming up with the day that did the installation. We were coming up with some trashy names, because he's full of trash. So it just kind of made sense. So none of those kind of went over very well. So I'll keep those to myself.
I want to speak to the interns that I always say, get involved. This is your community, and this is exactly what you did. And this is an opening door to you see how things work. And please stay involved. This is this is your hometown. 114 years ago, we were y'all's age. But yeah, it's your town. Get involved, be part of it, make a difference, and this is exactly how you do that. And I'd like to submit the first otter name, Mayor Savage. I think that'd be a great name for
Savage Otter's not a bad thing. To those of you in the audience, thank you for being parents of young people that are responsible and responsive. Thank you, because you did something right at home. You really did. You could also help as well as these young people. You can follow their example. Our stormwater department has a program in which you can adopt one of those storm drains in your neighborhood, the metal grate that all the stormwater runs in, if it's free from debris. You too can bag that debris, and we'll be happy to pick it up so that the stormwater is able to get where it is intended to go. So by all means, you guys set an example that we're really proud of. Thank you.
Well, and for the community, I think the storms that we just had, it's real obvious what happens when our systems get overworked.
Absolutely.
I hate to see those storms and the drains and everything right now with all the litter and debris. I've just seen a lot of pictures. So there's opportunity once the waters recede and it's safe to go out and help with this cleaning up the storm waters along the way. And then just because she was the quiet voice in the back that I know isn't always quiet, but it's a dear friend of mine, Susan Brackett's the one that spoke up a minute ago, and she works with our school district, helping with student assignments, career development, new places in the community for these high school students to go work. She's phenomenal. And if you are an employer in the community and you want to have talented students like this come out to your job site, I'm giving a shameless plug because she's leaned on me, I've leaned on her. But I know she's always looking for other opportunities, and this is a great example of what our high school students can do. So thank you, Mina, Susan, for y'all coordinating this, and students, really proud of you.
Yeah, my generation, we lived in the woods and the creeks, and that's where we played. That was our playground. So it's nice to see students get away from their computers and iPhones and get out in the creeks and the mud. So.
And didn't have plastic back then.
We didn't.
It
Amen.
helps when the creek eats your iPhone, right?
Well, thank you
all.
again. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Yes.
Mina, do you have,
All right.
do you have a second topic?
So yeah, I know.
Thank you.
So we are going to just kind of breeze through this. Hopefully, sorry, I know it's getting a little late.
You're
Just
fine.
wanted to give y'all a little update on what the stormwater outreach has been up to this spring and fall, summer, and then a little preview into the fall. So earlier this year, we attended all the middle school career fairs. We saw approximately 300 sixth graders. We also were at the 7th grade career fairs, including their STEAM event that was hosted. There's Andre, who's one of our members of the Stormwater Advisory Committee. He's the chair of that committee. They're helping with that event. And we saw approximately over the course of the different career fairs with the 7th graders, about 1,500 students. I was privileged to participate in the Clemson Extension Master Naturalist Program, and I am planning to utilize some of that foundational knowledge this year to provide more environmental education opportunities for our town residents. I attended a stream bank workshop in Holly Springs, North Carolina with NC State. And we are going to replicate this with Clemson Extension, working with one of their folks to bring a stream bank stabilization workshop to Fort Mill in February. And we've also applied to the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation's 5-star grant for some funds to help with these programs. And with that, the Catawba River Keepers and Daniel Stowe Botanical Garden staff are our grant partners, and they're also committed to helping with the stream bank workshop and project in the spring as well. We've collected nearly 300 pounds of trash just from the Water Goat location. We had our spring art project with Kirkland Smith, which I hope y'all all have seen a lot of because I have talked about it all the time. So that was a really exciting event. We had about 200 people participate, hands-on participation, placing items in that piece of art. If you haven't gotten a chance to see it in person, please head over to Town Hall. It's in the lobby. The fish is amazing. He's beautiful. Our South Carolina Adopt a Stream workshops, we've got 2 local trainers. I'm also a trainer, but then 2 volunteer trainers who have provided workshops. We've trained about 30 people this year alone, and we're going to have another series this fall. So if anyone's interested, I know Mary Fields had spoken about the Adopt a Stream program, the chemical testing that we do. Those opportunities are coming up this fall, so we'll have those workshops posted soon. Kind of see some of that. So litter cleanups, we mentioned this a little bit already. So far in our litter cleanups, we've pulled 7,780 pounds of trash from creeks and roadways. So that last year we collected over 11,000 pounds, and we're definitely going well to hit that again and maybe surpass it. One of our special projects this year was the Kingsley Wetland that is off of Highway 21. It flows over to Lake Hagler on the Greenway, and this wetland had become a trash trap. So we were getting a lot of road trash, probably decades worth, in that wetland. So we went in with a team of volunteers, some Catawba River Keeper staff, and a couple of volunteers who didn't get the memo from their HR department that they were going to get wet that day. So that was fun. We pulled about 600 pounds of trash out of that wetland. So that was all floatable trash too. So 600 pounds of styrofoam and plastic bottles. That's a lot. It was about 30 bags of trash. We also have done some other additional cleanups, like in the Paradise community, and we've done some corporate volunteer projects there. We had our litter sweep event, and again, so far we've pulled a lot of trash out. I do want to mention this project just because I do want to give our Boy Scout Stephen a big shout out for his project over at Banks Trail Middle. He did a Creekside outdoor classroom that in conjunction with us and the school district and the folks there at Banks Trail. And of course, you already heard a little bit about Stories in Shaved Ice, and our last piece of that was the installation of our newest piece of public art in Harris Street Park. Jim Swaim, pictured here, he's the artist who created our otter, and it was a gift to the town from Palmetto Pride. So it's a donation from Palmetto Pride that they gave us. And that morning, we had a great group of folks go out and volunteer with us and pull, about 75 pounds of trash, including that tire, out of our creek. And if y'all are familiar with the creek at Harris Street, it's small, unless it's Debbie time, and then she ain't small. But it was it's a small creek, and it does get a lot of abuse. So I just wanted to showcase that. And we sorted through some of that trash, and as you can see there, volunteers and the public were able to place some of it into the otter. The otter is not a trash can. It is to showcase the impact trash can make on our local wildlife. So fall, just wanted to give you some information there. We are starting back second Saturday service in September. We have those dates, September and November. And then in October, we do the river sweep with the Catawba River Keeper. And we will again be over at the River Place along Sugar Creek, where we pulled 107 tires and about 530 pounds of trash out of the creek last year. And I'm looking forward to doing that again. I'm also going to get to participate in the Leadership York County program this year, and I'm very excited to be a part of that. We'll start back with our student art contest again this fall. You'll see more information about that coming out in September. And again, that stream bank stabilization project that we're working on with Clemson Extension, that date will be February 21st. And it's going to be a wonderful workshop for anybody in the community, but then also professionals in the area who are interested in learning more. Just wanted to give y'all just a little update here on our Keep America Beautiful project. We are going to create a Keep Fort Mill Beautiful affiliate, and Palmetto Pride has actually already paid our application fee for us. So that's 3 times I have mentioned Palmetto Pride. We got Water Goat, we got our beautiful otter, and they're also helping us become an affiliate. So we'll have a lot of access to programs that are already existing, a national level of information and grant applications, and just a lot of different opportunities there. So just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of that. The commitment that we are making is to create a committee to lead that effort. So we'll be creating that Keep Fort Mill Beautiful committee this fall. So I think that's it. I sped through that.
That's a lot.
Did anybody have any questions on any of that?
Mina, I am blown away with the opportunities that you provide for our community to assist. I'm equally blown away in the other direction with the lack of respect that people show to litter our community. And these council members, they know I get pretty ugly about it. I don't understand. I don't understand why it's easier to throw something out of your window, leave it behind, than it is to put it in a trash can. We live in the best place in the world. People, do what you can. Don't let kids, adults. I pick up trash on my road every day when I walk my dog. I take a trash bag every day. I mean, how does that happen every day? So I'm really looking forward to the second Saturday service again. I think it's made a huge difference in our community, and it's volunteers, guys. So thank you all for what you do, and thank you for being the leader that we're proud of.
Thank you.
Yeah, mine, I did want to follow up. I had a note, and the mayor beat me to it, but
Sorry.
No, and we have property on one of the main roads in Fort Mill, and I can't tell you how many tons of trash I've picked up or ground up with a bush hog. But in the workshop, so when we were growing up, there again, we're 114 years old, I think. But there were signs. People didn't litter you know, and now
Like we
it's
do
just,
now.
I've been behind, you know, late model cars and people just throwing trash out the window. It is in the workshops, if there are things that we can do, I mean, do we need to put signs up saying, you know, do not litter? We've got the judge right here, we could ask for maximum fines. I'll do whatever, because I'm actually a part of a group that cleans up on Dover Bridge Road quarterly. And it's crazy. We found shoes, clothes, underwear,
Vacuum
stuff you don't want to
cleaners.
know about.
Yep.
And it's back 3 months later, and it's back there again. So, you know, whatever we can do as a council, as a town, please bring it to our attention, because it's great that you know, we've got people cleaning up, but if we could stop the people just rampantly throwing stuff out, I just don't understand why that's even.
Yeah, because Chris, when we were younger, we didn't have as many disposable things as we do now. Remember our
Nickels for your bottle.
Yeah, nickels for a returned bottle, and you know, we just didn't have the same level of drive-throughs with the trash that can go out the window.
Right.
We ate off a plate, so I do think it's just a different culture, but I think it could be tweaked to where we could be a more respectful culture.
And I'm going to be attending the South Carolina Litter Summit in early September down at Myrtle Beach, and I plan to bring home a lot of ideas there. I do know that there are some different opportunities, especially with Keep America Beautiful, with some of their programs and grants that they have. They actually have funding that available. I think it's only about like $30,000 you can get towards an officer to be focused on litter prevention. So that's something that we could explore. I know that would not pay for an officer, but maybe it would help supplement that if we could look at something like that. But there's a lot of different opportunities there. I think it does feel like an uphill battle sometimes when you go out there. We just did another creek cleanup at Sugar Creek and pulled several hundred pounds of trash, about 3,000 pounds of trash out of the creek on Friday, August 2nd. So and about 50 tires, and that's all an area that they had just cleaned up in June. So it
Makes me so sad.
Yeah.
Makes me so sad.
It's thank you, but I remember at one time, and I don't know if this is doable now, but if you got caught littering, they'd put you out there on Saturday morning,
In a
clean it
vest.
up to shame you.
Yep.
And I mean, hey, that works for me. But because it just it's out of control. But thank you so
Me
much
too.
for making a difference.
Thank
and
you.
Thank you so much for getting the young people involved, because they're
they're awesome. They do an amazing
They're great.
job. We've got a lot of great.
I couldn't fit in that tree. So
When you get the young kids involved, they take ownership.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
You know, I took my son one time and we cleaned up Highway 21 going across the bridge into Rock Hill. And even to this day, every single time we go by there, if he sees a piece of trash, it infuriates him.
Yeah.
Because he took ownership. That's his road. Saturday night, we were over at Kingsley eating ice cream, sitting by the lake right there, and just watching all the kids playing on the mural. And just looking and identifying all the different creatures, and then looking in the water to see if they can find them and everything. So again, that's just bringing up another generation to appreciate it and again to take ownership of it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Let's give mine a set of applause.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mina.
I appreciate
We
it.
appreciate you. All right, presentation number 3, Employee of the Quarter. I think it's a little bit important to.
Number 2.
Two? I jumped over one, didn't I?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I should wear the glasses all the time. Swearing in of Associate Judge Christopher, help me. Mignata. Mignata? All right. Judge Okoye?
You know what's interesting?
What?
9th grade through 12th grade, I had an internship or apprenticeship with the EPA.
Really?
Yep, so it's cool.
I'm sure they welcome
I
your
was
help.
gonna say.
We got some orange bags. You can come join us.
Yeah.
So we can put down
Come
maximum
right in
fines
front so
down
Tony
here in
can
the
get a
court.
good shot. Thank you. Thank you.
You want to move that microphone?
Me?
The microphone they got there for.
All right, just put your is it left hand on the Bible, then right hand?
Right hand.
Left hand on the Bible, and the right hand up, I think. Correct?
Right hand on the Bible.
Oh, excuse me. Right hand on the
All the way to the heart.
All right. Just repeat after me. I, Christopher Mignata,
I, Christopher Minyaga,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of the state,
according to the Constitution of the state,
to exercise the duties of the office
to exercise the duties of the office
to which I have been appointed,
to which I have been appointed,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge those duties,
and will preserve,
protect, and defend
the Constitution of this state,
and of the United States, as associate municipal judge of the town of Fort Mill. I pledge to uphold the integrity and independence of the judiciary. I pledge in the discharge of my duties to treat all persons who enter the courtroom with civility, fairness, and respect. I pledge to listen courteously, sit impartially, act promptly, and rule after careful and considerate deliberation. I pledge to seek justice and justice alone. So help me God. Wonderful. Congratulations.
We're so happy to have you. Welcome. Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. All right, presentation number 3 now, Employee of the Quarter, and I think there's a little bit that needs to be said about the gentleman that would be presenting this. Carrie? No, not again.
I just wanted to save you the trouble.
Yeah.
Officer Barrett was unable to be with us this evening due
Ah.
to the scheduling issue.
Okay.
I don't know if you'd like to just defer to the next month, or how'd you like to handle it?
We can, but I'd like for you to stand up and let everybody take a look at our, this is our brand new town manager, Carrie Vargo. Carrie has come to us with a very, very strong resume of skill and talent that our community will benefit from. He's a great guy. We're already benefiting from his communications, his organizational skills, and his leadership. So please, let's give him a round of applause, and we're really happy to have you. Thank you, Carrie.
I'll give you the money.
I hear you.
You got welcome. Hey, your first meeting and you get a turtle.
Yep.
So I mean,
A turtle.
good starting.
A turtle. We're clapping a lot tonight. All right. Where is Jacana? Is she here tonight? Okay. This has been a bizarre meeting already, you know?
You don't look anything like Jacana.
No, you don't.
Not as well dressed.
All right, Chris Sardelli will do presentation number 4, Tribute Fest event. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Thank you so much for having me. Apologize. Unfortunately, Jacana Hester couldn't be here last minute, so I'll be filling in for her this evening just to give you an update on our Tribute Fest, which is this Saturday. And Chris, do I just... Okay. Like I was saying, on Saturday, August 17th, at our Fort Mill Amphitheater at Walter Elijah Park, from 5 to 8 p.m., we'll be having our Tribute Fest. And each year we try to do a theme. We've done an 80s night. We've done rock and roll. This year is country. So we will have 2 country acts. The first one we'll have is Vegas McGraw. It's a Tim McGraw tribute show. It's actually very well known on the West Coast, but they perform nationally. They'll be playing from 5 p.m. to 6:15. And just a very quick bio on them. It's performed by Nashville recording artist and Las Vegas entertainer Adam V. Tucker, and he helps recreate Tim McGraw, but also he does some other music as well. He recently won episode 3 of the new hit TV show created by Jimmy Fallon called Clash of the Cover Bands, and he and his crew have opened up for 42 national acts. And that's included Taylor Swift and Trace Adkins, Jason Aldean. So they've been around. They're very popular. So we're excited to have them as the first of the night's tribute acts. Then in between, we're very excited about this one. We're always trying to add some local entertainers to our roster. I know some of you are probably aware of Cooper Ledford. He is a Catawba Ridge High School graduate and aspiring country artist. He'll be performing in between the two big acts, so from 6:15 to 6:45. He actually just wrote and released his first country song that went on to Amazon Music last Friday. We listened to it. It's great. We're going to be doing a little advertising on our social media of all three acts, sharing some of their videos so people can be familiar before the entertainment. A little bit about him. When he was 11 years old, he wrote his first song. He's been doing so ever since. I recorded his first ever song in June called Ain't Your Story to Write, and I encourage people to listen to it. It's a great song. His idols, he likes 90s country, so he'll have a lot of classic songs that he's going to perform by George Strait, Travis Tritt. Just a list. I'm not going to read all of our food trucks, but we have a very good selection of food, dessert, and drinks for our food. We want to remind people they can bring their own water to the event. It's supposed to be pretty warm again on Saturday, so we encourage people they can bring their own water. They cannot bring coolers still, but they can bring their own water. We will also have some water available in cooler stationed throughout, so just to keep people cool. And then we do recommend people bring cash and card. It's a mix of what the vendors will bring or accept. We will be providing beer and wine. That's provided by Hobos, Illumination Wines, and then Fort Mill History Museum will be doing the ID checks and the wristbands and tickets. Prices, as you can see, are up on the board. They range from $6 to $9, and cash and cards are accepted for those as well. This is our site map for the event. You can see where our food trucks will be. We'll also have our, right in front of where the restroom facility is, that's where the beer and wine will be held. So we have a good selection, and if people want to see this map, we'll be providing information about this and parking on the town website. And just a note, let's see, about our road closures. We'll be closing Ardrey Street, which is, if you're facing the park, obviously for people who aren't familiar, it's the one on the left-hand side. We'll be closing that from North White to just before the amphitheater parking lot. And vendors only entrance and exit will be on Ardrey Street. And that's closing from 2 p.m. to 8:30. Parking, this is always a big one that people want to know where is available to park. The ones that we point out are the Veterans Park, 106 North White Street. Everyone knows that is where we hold our farmers market. Calhoun Street Park, 203 Calhoun Street, which is on the hill above, basically behind Walter Elijah, on Looms Way. And then we'll have handicap behind the amphitheater and at 205 North White Street. And please, a reminder, no parking along any roads around the park. You will be towed. Our event rules are listed on the event page. If anyone wants to check that out, that's at fortmillsc.gov/town events. And on the left-hand side, you can choose your particular event. I won't go through all the rules, but the big one we want to let people know is to bring a chair or blanket when they come, so they have somewhere to sit. And I'll let people read those online. And then tonight, we're also seeking a resolution designating Walter Elijah Park, 345 North White Street, on Saturday as the site of a public event in which alcoholic beverages may be sold, possessed, and consumed, and to authorize a special event for live music and sound amplifying equipment for the same day at 8 p.m. And details are in the resolution. And as always, we do a really good job trying to keep people updated on all of our social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, and X, and then also we post videos afterwards on our YouTube page, and we have plenty of information on our events page. So if anyone needs to find anything, it's all there. But that's about it. If you had any questions, please let me know.
Council, do you have any questions for Chris? It looks like we've really done a good job securing some great talent for this particular event.
And come on, y'all, look, it's a Fort Mill guy. He's on Spotify. So, you know, he's a local kid.
Dad's a principal.
Dad's principal. This will be the biggest concert he's ever played at. So, you know, no pressure there. But let's pack it out and let's show him, you know, let's support one of our own, you know.
Absolutely. I think it's important to note, go ahead, Ronnie, I'm sorry.
Iterate no pets except service animals. We had some horses there last time.
Yes, what?
Dogs about this tall.
Well, that's a good point. We always say no animals except service animals. We have had some issues with dogs running loose in the park and across people's blankets and chairs. So yes, thank you.
I would also like to thank you and our events staff for all the hard work that you do to make these events possible for our community. Without you, police, fire, parks, public works, these events require a great deal of effort and time and dedication. So thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you. And we do. We have a great team. So thank you to all our departments too.
Thank you.
Great. Thank
It
you.
makes it look so seamless, like
Yeah, it does.
there's like those magically show up, and we all know how much work. And
Well,
so
thank
it's
you. We'll
great,
pass
yeah.
along to Jacana too. She does a great job as well as Dina. So.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Happy to have you. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Chris.
Great. Thank you.
We'll now move into old business item number 1, second reading, an ordinance annexing York County tax map number 73800000063 and a portion of 73800000062, containing approximately 5.25 acres located at the intersection of Fort Mill Parkway and Holbrook Road. Councilman Chris Moody is in Ward 4, in which this is located, and Penelope is our subject matter expert. Hi, Penelope.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is second reading. The first reading, there were some questions about some technical for the traffic impact analysis. So tonight we do have our own consultant, Amy Massey from Kimberly Horn, that is here to answer any questions, as well as the applicant, Ashok Patel, and his engineer, Michael Newman, and also Dan Ballou. So they're here if you have any questions, but I don't have anything further to add for tonight.
Because I was unable to attend our last meeting, those of you that had questions, do you still have questions that you'd like to have an answer to?
So I know my main concern was the left-hand turn, coming back across the bypass, exiting whatever facility will be there, just past a channelized intersection that's currently 45 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And is that still?
It's still a full access movement for that access point on the parkway.
I know there was some discussion about that maybe being removed to prevent. I'm just thinking of my 15-year-old self and my 15-year-old son making a left-hand turn across a non-channel,
Sure.
where there's no light.
Sure.
Where it's 45 miles an hour. So that was just my main concern. I think there were some discussions about possibly going back to the applicant and seeing would there be any give on that or not.
There were discussions, and they're here tonight as well, that they would be amicable to do not a left turn lane. Is that correct? But again, that's not something that we would require from the TIA, but I believe the applicant would consider that. And we would have to amend the traffic mitigation agreement because it shows what improvements are made.
I see some yeses back there, so that's wonderful that you would consider that based on a concern about safety. That's all we really need to know. Penelope, what would be the next step to make that written into the agreement?
We would have to amend the agreement because the agreement has been signed by both parties, the applicant and the town.
Mm-hmm.
So we would have to amend that document in order before second reading.
So we would need to vote and ask for that amendment, is that correct?
That
I would
is
have to have a
correct.
motion that would be to approve with that amendment, is that correct?
Excuse me. Do you
Yes.
have anything to add?
Hey, the only thing I would add is that I think that SCDOT is going to have a say in that as well, because it depends on how that would be configured. If it were going to be removed or a right in, right out, or some other configuration, then it's more of a design issue, but they would still need to, sign off on it. So we would need to certainly coordinate that with them as well to confirm what is the resulting configuration for that particular intersection. Does that make sense?
It does, and I can't imagine us wanting to finalize a development agreement without that. So would the next step be, I think tonight we have to ask for that amendment if we want it, and then you would have to go to the DOT and explain what is occurring, and then they would have to agree, and then you would come back to us. Is that correct?
That is correct. And it's because of the Parkway, being an SCDOT road.
Sure.
Amy's correct. Sure. We have to coordinate with that department. But that would be a form of a motion, instead of.
Okay.
I know the mayor wasn't here last time, but could you go over, Penelope, reiterate just the, I guess, the grades of the intersections in there? Where the is that EF, right? Or Amy?
Yeah.
Could you kind of walk us through that?
She's the expert traffic engineer.
This was very detailed, so let me pull up my notes here so I can tell you right. Lots of different scenarios, lots of different intersections to look at, and lots of different results. But what we had was a level of service D as in dog or better everywhere throughout the network, except for the intersection we just talked about, which is the proposed site access that's aligned with the North Dobies commercial, right? The one that's just to the north. And by the way, Fort Mill Parkway is just east-west throughout the whole, for the purposes of this study, for simplicity's sake. So the southbound approach of that intersection there is not showing good levels of service. That would be an F, okay? But keeping in mind that that is for that internal driveway. It's not on Fort Mill Parkway. It's just for that stop controlled approach, okay? And then also we had South Dobies and the proposed, or I guess this has already been approved now, Harris Teeter access number 2. There's an overall signalized level of service E, as an egg, there. That would be in the PM peak hour only. And then Hare Road is showing up with level of service E on what we're calling the northbound approach in both peaks. However, that one is looking a lot better now that we don't have some of the other approved developments in there. So, I'm not going to mention any names.
I understand. I understand.
Did I answer that, Mr. Moody?
Yeah. So, you go ahead.
I think I'm uncomfortable that we would vote and ask for an amendment to hold someone to something that hadn't been yet approved. I think the right action is to defer, if one of my council members would agree.
Sure.
I'll make a motion to defer all business item number 1 to the first meeting in September.
Okay.
I feel like that's enough time for DOT to respond.
I would extend it a little bit.
October.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Just to be
We don't mean to hold you
conservative.
up. We're really trying to make this cleaner and right, okay, for everybody.
Okay.
Can
So
you?
I amend my
Thank you.
amendment to defer the motion to, we'll defer the motion to the first October meeting for old business item
Mayor,
number 1.
Why don't we defer it to the next first meeting of September? If we have to defer it again, we can do that. But if you make the motion to defer to October, then we're stuck with October. You see what I'm saying?
We'll do whatever's right.
Defer it to the first meeting in September, and then if we have to defer again, we can
right
do
to
that.
begin with.
She was. She was.
So I am going to
Say
change
it,
it
Mary,
all.
say it.
Back up. I would like to make a motion to defer old business item number 1 to the first meeting in September.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion to defer to the first meeting in September, and I have a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, thank you so much. It must be a full moon. This has been a quirky meeting. Thank you. Thank you, Penelope. Thank you all. We appreciate you. Old business item number 2. An ordinance, this is the second reading of an ordinance to add parking standards for ambulatory surgical facilities and other matters relating thereto. And Penelope, you're still in the hot seat.
I am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
No changes. The last meeting, it was, first reading was approved by a vote of 4-2, and we're back here tonight.
Okay.
For second reading.
All right, so nothing has changed from the last time this council has voted. Does anyone have comment or question?
Just to clarify, so this is to create a new zoning ordinance and at 3 per 1,000 parking, 3 parking spots per 1,000 square foot.
It is to create a new use, so we can have this new use, a new parking standard for this particular use. That is, now with the new hospital, we're going to be having, surgical centers more and more come, and this is for that particular use.
But it was 3, parking was,
Yes,
question
yeah.
was parking was 3
It
per
is,
1,000.
it is.
3 per 1,000 square
Per
foot.
1,000,
Okay,
instead
I just
of
want to
the
clarify, that's kind of.
And what is the current?
4.5
Okay.
per 1,000.
And just
And that remains for other medical office. It's just for this ambulatory, like surgery center. It's for.
That's just for this particular type service, correct?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
So like we talked about at the previous meeting, if the building is sold off for another reason, that other reason would be grandfathered in at the smaller density parking.
No, so if it got sold to a family care doctor's office, they would have to come up with 4.5 spaces per 1,000 for them to be able to open up as a just normal doctor's office. So this, if you had a facility that was built specifically as an ambulatory surgery center at 3 per 1,000, unless it stays an ambulatory surgery center, that they may have to add parking for another use to go into the facility.
But in reality, the facility's already committed around it, so there wouldn't be a way to make it acceptable to be able to be occupied by any other business other than an ambulatory center.
I mean, they would have to make changes.
Yeah, unless they added a parking deck or a parking garage or,
Right.
that would be.
To accommodate the
That's
zoning.
at that one location that that's up for the.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of putting the horse in front of the cart, but yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
You can't plan on that building being the same thing forever.
Right.
That's all good.
But they won't be held to the same standard if it's not, is what I just heard. Is that not correct?
Yes, if it's sold for anything else, they'll have to.
It
That
has
would
to
have
go
to
to
be-
that standard.
To the old standard of 4.5, so.
Okay.
usage.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yes. All right. Any further questions?
I'll make a motion to approve all business item number 2.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving old business item number 2, second reading, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Penelope. New business items. New business item number 1, 2024 Tribute Fest, a resolution designating Walter Elijah Park at 345 North White Street on Saturday, August 17th, 2024, from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. as the site of a public event in which alcoholic beverages may be sold, possessed, and consumed, and to authorize a special event permit for live music and sound amplifying equipment on Saturday, August 17th, 2024, 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. at Walter Elijah Park, 345 North White Street, Chicana. Hester, in the flesh, Chris Surdell.
Nice segue.
Do you need me to read the whole resolution or
backwards?
Skipping every third
I can
word?
try. There are no changes.
No changes, all right. No changes, and this is something that we have somewhat standardized to ensure that we cover what needs to be covered per event. So, does council have any questions in regards to this proposal?
I make a motion to approve new business item number 1.
Second.
I have a proposal to approve and a second for new business item number 1. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, thank you so much. New business item number 2, auditing services contract award, our very own Eric Davis.
The most exciting event of the evening.
Just gets bigger and bigger,
we
doesn't
get
it?
to talk about audit contracts. Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Hi, Eric.
Upon completion of the fiscal year 2023 audit, the current contract with Green, Finney, and Cawley expired. Since then, staff has solicited proposals for auditing services for a multi-year contract. We received 4 proposals and opened those on July 26th of 2024. All of the bidding firms that submitted proposals were very well qualified, but the combination of the qualifications and the proposal led us to Malden and Jenkins out of Columbia, South Carolina. So staff is recommending that the town award a 3-year contract for auditing services to Malden and Jenkins Certified Public Accountants with a year 1 cost of $50,000. Be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Have any questions for Eric?
Eric, so you stipulate that's year 1. Is that for all those quotes, or is that you just got it written beside Malden's and Jenkins?
They submit. Each company had a separate cost. Malden and Jenkins has a staggered increase for their 3 years. It's 50, 55, and 60 for the 3 years.
Is that true on the others, or are they even like? When you designate it like that,
most of them had an escalator clause. One company only submitted a bid for one year.
So this is the best call. We're doing it on price per quantity.
We're looking at qualifications first.
Right.
Price
They're all
second.
qualified, but okay. When you stipulate that one with
Yes, sir.
year 1, I just want to make clarification. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm very pleased that we're able to shift in another direction, and that's all I have to say about that.
Well, we appreciate after 18 years of doing business with the same people that we're looking at other options. Not that we didn't in the past, but just saying,
Yes.
glad you brought the opportunity for us.
Absolutely.
Good work. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Please
Any
do.
further questions? Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve new business item 2 for
Second.
the auditing contract services.
Sorry.
And I have a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, thank you so much.
And Mayor, since it is a full moon.
Yes, it is.
Full moon meeting, I want to take this opportunity to introduce our new finance director, Debbie Cradaville. Did I get that right? This is day number
Give him a number,
6.
he'll be fine.
Day 6.
Day number 6 for Debbie, but she's already getting immersed and learning everything that she needs to. She comes to us from Connecticut, so we're extremely happy to have her, but we did want to introduce her to you. This
Welcome.
is Debbie Cradaville.
Good
Welcome.
job.
Welcome.
We'll take our version of Tropical Storm Debbie. You know,
Well, see, I don't spell my name the same way,
Okay,
so I
good.
feel like I don't
Nobody
have to
does.
take ownership.
That's okay. I don't want any of the hurricanes named Lisa either, so it's okay.
right.
Okay, welcome aboard.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you all.
So happy to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Eric, excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, there are no information discussion items. We do have an executive session item. Please note the council may take action on executive session items listed on the agenda when they come back into public session. Our executive session item is our discussions incident to proposed contractual agreements with the Fort Mill History Museum. Do I have a motion to move into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Thank you. All right, I need a motion to return to regular session.
Make a motion to return to regular session.
I need
I'll
a
second.
second. All those in favor to return to regular session, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Thank you all for everything that you've done to hold us together this evening. It was a very bizarre kind of meeting, but a lot of good stuff. Ben, what do you have for the good of the whole?
The young people getting involved, getting outside, getting off the electronics, getting dirty. I love that. I mean, that spoke great things to my heart here. I see future leaders in those young people. I really do. I think great things will come. Big thank you to Fort Mill Public Works. During the recent storm, there was a lot of picking up, a lot of moving of limbs, clearing out water, big puddles where it was not
Trees.
draining properly, a number of different things. Yeah, so they react. There's not a plan for what they were going to do. They're kind of being reactive. So genuinely appreciate all of their efforts. Have to give a special thanks to Duke Power as well. Our neighborhood in Whiteville Park sees a lot of Duke Power in Pike. So if there's a storm, we're probably going to see them and be bringing them cookies and bringing them water. So I have to thank them for getting us back online.
Excellent. Alan?
what Mina said earlier about Jim Swain, the artist who did the artwork. And if you haven't seen it, go down to Harris Street Park. It's really cool looking and adds something to it. So thank you to him, to Mina McDonald, Palmetto Pride for that whole project there. Fall's coming. Leaves are going to start falling. Please make sure you don't put your leaves in the drains or on the road. Especially my side of town, that seems to be an issue, or everywhere. But,
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Put them on the side. The town will be picking starting September, October with the leaf truck. Somewhere in that ballpark.
Can't quote you, but I'll quote you next time.
'Cause my oak tree leaves are already starting to fall. So that's it. Roll Tide.
I'm glad to hear someone pick up my mantra about the leaves, the gutters. I think it's also something important when you cut your grass. You know, you don't blow all that down the street to the drain either. I've seen that recently. So, Chris Wolf?
So there's a lot going on. Busy summer winding down. Schools are back in session. Please slow down, especially in the school zones. And fall is on the way with Tribute Fest and Fall Festival was announced today, and the wonderful Scarecrow Crawl, which I think is probably one of the best family events we do. I am thankful also that the storm only dumped 4 to 6 inches on us and nothing else. I think the mayor mentioned that early on. Shout out to the police and the emergency personnel and public works for their responsiveness and service dealing with all the accidents and trees in the road and flooding areas. And thanks to the town staff for the preparedness of doing everything we can up and to be ready for Debbie. I think they actually had the vacuum truck out cleaning out the gutters and stuff that day. So I thought that was a great thing. I'm also happy to hear we're moving forward on several large initiatives. I saw where Hardee's will be coming to start demolition of the Hardee's, which is sad for a lot of us. But the happy side is we're looking for the new parking lot.
Yep.
So we need that. And work is underway for the new government center, so everybody's looking forward to that. So a lot of good things going on.
Absolutely. Mr. Moody?
So, good job, staff, tonight, planning everything. Was a lot of exciting changes, especially with our audit firm. I was really pleased, Eric. Good job on that. Carrie, welcome to Fort Mill. We're a pretty good bunch to work with, I think, for the most part. Just glad we made it all through the storm. And I know this, try to steer away from personal issues or items, but I lost a friend of mine who was a neighbor that lived one street over from me a week ago today. And man, our community has just pulled together and raised $30,000 in a GoFundMe in 7 days. In 7 days. And with sharing it, social media and everybody just pitching in, and then there's another initiative on top of the 30 that people have raised as well. So just keep the Hinton family in your thoughts and prayers. And he leaves behind a wife and a daughter. So, thank you. That's all I have.
Ronnie?
I'm good.
All right. I would like to thank staff, Eric, Carrie, Chris, for all the diligence that they're putting into the budget. It's a season that knows no end to meetings, and we're grateful for the effort that you put forth to make it easy for us to make some very crucial decisions for our town and its operations. It matters, and you do too, so thank you. Chris, congratulations on being a daddy again. We're very happy about little Ellie, so that's awesome. So we do like to share the good stuff. I guess football's coming. Yay! Yay! So I'm looking forward to a beautiful fall here, and thank you all for what you bring to the table. So with that, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Can I actually want to add one more thing? Real
Oh,
quick.
my goodness.
I'm sorry. Come on. So Fort Mill schools, and it's part of a state law. Cell phones are banned during school hours. So this is a new thing. So for the first time, and my wife works at one of the schools, for the first time in 5 years, they've actually had to get on to kids during lunch to be quiet. Because they're actually talking to each other. They're talking to each other. They're interacting face to face. It's social experiment. So it's actually it's a good problem. So exciting. Just throwing that out there.
Awesome.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Thank you so much. We are adjourned.